This is Talitha and you're tuned in to Intimate Conversations presented by Food for the Soul. Hot 7025 FM. Make radio great again.
Welcome to Intimate Conversations with your girl Talitha Kume, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group on Hot 702.5 FM and live on our FB page, Food for the Soul Media Group. You guys stay tuned in and we will be right back. In these uncertain times, everyone needs a hand up. Becoming a sponsor or making a donation to Food for the Soul Media Group is a great opportunity to help. Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby airs every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5 FM streaming radio and live on our FB page. Intimate Conversations discusses all of those topics we don't like to talk about. Become a sponsor or donate today at foodforthesoulmediagroup.press or email us at foodforthesoulpresents@gmail.com. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in this afternoon to Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby, presented by Food for the Soul Media Group here on Hot 702.5 FM and on our Food for the Soul FB page. If you guys have not already, go like our page, follow us on Instagram at Food for the Soul Media Group and Orlay Worldwide, and subscribe to our YouTube stations, Food for the Soul Media Group and Intimate Conversations, you guys. And if you guys would like to call in and be a part of our conversation, you can do so by calling in at 702-551-5261, or you can comment on our FB page, and don't forget to hashtag us at hashtag Food for the Soul and hashtag Intimate Conversations, you guys. I don't know, it almost feels like we haven't been here in a while. We were just here last week. It's just weird.
Were we here last week?
Yeah, today is just a weird day, I guess. So I'm not sure.
Last week was strange. I feel like.
Yeah, were we rushing around a lot?
Yeah, a little bit.
Were we?
A little bit.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. And so today we're in the mix. We're relaxed a little bit, but we're hot, man. It's hot.
Oh, the heat's coming, y'all.
It's hot. So
Vegas is letting us know that they're mean today.
Well, we're trying to get used to that. So
right.
We haven't been, we haven't had the full on heat yet, but this time it's coming to us, you guys. But anyway, so our theme for the month is Mind Your Business.
Whoa.
And this is our first Saturday of the month, and today we are going to be discussing Show Me the Money. Yes, show me the money. And so we're talking about your business. Why can't you start your own business? Why can't you start your own business? Now is the time. Also, we're going to be talking about, you guys, stop accepting all these handouts. Or if you're going to accept the handout, please remember to read the small print.
Yes.
Remember to read the small print if you're going to accept the handout.
Small print's a booger.
Yeah. And we're going to discuss starting up your business under $500, or what it takes to be your own boss. And so that's what we want to do. We want to come light this month. We're going to come light next month too, a little bit. So we're just going to kind of try and encourage you guys. So for the next 2 months, let's get some encouragement going on. I'm tired of talking about everything that's going on in the world and in the news. Not saying that we should not be mindful of it, not saying that we shouldn't be aware of it, but let's talk about some other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's encourage us and get us going in the right direction as we try and get back to some sense of whatever normalcy we're going to be having.
Right.
Post-COVID, I guess, or during COVID or whatever, because they're saying that it's still here. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the show. And my first articles was, I found a couple of articles, but we're talking about, the first article is how to start a business when you have literally no money.
Yes.
And so we're going to jump into that. And the first thing they say is to ask yourself what you can do and get for free. So that's the first thing you want to do. The second thing is build up 6 months worth of savings for expenses. So if you can do that, you guys, build up, even if it's just, $200, $300 a month or whatever you can afford, build some of that up so that you can have some type of savings, or so that you can start putting it back for any type of expenses that you may need. And then it says to ask your friends and family for extra funds. So it's no harm in asking a best friend, or, somebody who really, really believes in you for a handout, or, some extra money to help you along with whatever you have, whatever you're putting back. Apply for a small business loan when you need extra cash. Look to small business grants and local funding opportunities. For me, I would say look for small business grants versus small business loans. So it's very important when you are starting your own business, I think, especially a small business, if you're going to ask for a handout, ask your friends that are willing to donate to you, or maybe that are willing to sponsor to you for you to help them do something, and they get some type of return. But taking out a loan is actually really, really scary going into a small business in the beginning, because you just don't know what your return is going to be. So I would hate for you to take out a big loan and then you go and you start your business and something happens unexpectedly and now you're looking to have to pay that loan back. So I would look more into grants and stuff like that, wouldn't you? And then it says find and woo potential angel investors, and those are people that really want to invest in your company, and they're not taking a big return. You know what I'm saying? They're just really they're an angel. They're looking over you. They're really believing in your brand, and they're hoping that you're going to be successful. And so it says, if you think that the entrepreneur path is your thing, but you don't have money, maybe this will help you. You can start a business with little or no money, but that's not the same as starting without resources. In fact, the more resources you have, the less money you will need. By resources, we can mention some such as intelligence, imagination, social circle, experience, studies, and knowledge in general. The time available, the ability to connect seemingly unconnected points, the ability to see opportunities where no one else finds them, manual, sports, artistic, or physical skills in general, intellectual skills, health, and so on and so on. So it's a long etc. because it's just so many things that as far as resources are concerned. If you have resources, you really don't need a whole lot of money, because you have some of these things that will help you get your business off the ground. And it says the only cost of really starting a business that can really be calculated is the cost of forming an LLC or a C corporation, or whatever kind of legal form you decide to go with. And that would depend on which city and country you're starting the business in. So I thought that this was really interesting. The cost of forming an LLC in the U.S. can go anywhere from $500 in Massachusetts to $40 in Kentucky. So if you guys live in Kentucky, you guys got it going on. You can start your business for about $40. If you live in Massachusetts, about $500.
That means Massachusetts must have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, and that's a lot. I would say for us, if I remember correctly, in Texas, we didn't. It wasn't a lot for us to start.
137 or something like that.
It was really inexpensive for us to start something in Texas, which we did, and now we're out here about to kind of do the same thing. And I've heard actually that out here it's actually it might be a little bit more expensive out here.
Yeah, probably more ideas out here
in Nevada, but we'll see. So you must research. And it all starts with an idea. And so I'm about to read some of these things that they say as far as developing your idea. I'm sorry, you guys. This is hard for me. This is bothering me. So first you want to explain your idea in a few words. So you're going to explain your idea. And then it says to provide deeper details on that idea.
Yeah.
The market it will serve, the problem it aims to solve, or how will the solution work, etc. So that's the first two things. And then you want to brainstorm some ideas, and check if their domains are available. And so that's one of the first things you do. And then you want to get with the team. It says, think whether I could work on that business on my own, or think if you could work on that business on your own, or would you need to co-found it and hire someone to do some tasks. So you want to think about that when you're thinking about your idea, you're brainstorming. And then it says, estimate how many hours will it take you to build a really basic product for the idea, which aims to validate the demand. And then you can get into this deeper as far as when you're thinking of your products, you got to think of demand, if it will be in demand, how you get it out, if it is in demand, like how you'll be able to push the products out. And then it says investment. You want to approximately estimate how much it will cost to set up your brand with all of the costs that come in with printing, or making something or something like that or whatever, you want to talk about that and you want to figure out how much that costs.
Right.
And then your price. You want to select pricing for the idea based on your gut feeling. And it says no competitor or market analysis yet. There will be time for that. So on your gut feeling, if you're trying to do a product or even a service, you want to kind of base it on what you think that you can do the service at, what cost you think you can do the service at, and pretty much, or how much you feel like you are worth. You know what I'm saying? So you want to do that. And then it says your revenue and a monthly revenue. It says you want to estimate whether the idea can bring some hundreds per month, thousands per month, or whatever amount that would deserve working on the idea full-time or even part-time. So you want to write that down. It says you want to write down your expenses. So you want to estimate the main cost of keeping the business active in order to easily discard those that have low revenue estimations but high expense calculations. So basically, you want to talk about, is it going to cost me more money expense-wise to do this business versus me having money coming in? So right. I'm going to write down, if I'm talking about, if I'm trying to sell this, some type of a water product or something like that or whatever, am I spending more money to make it than I'm going to bring in, especially in the first year or 2 years or something like that or whatever? You really got to think about that and figure out if that's something that you're able to do. And then it says take into account that then you will have to adapt that idea to the immediate and make it work exclusively with the resources that you have. And that means keeping it simple at first. Short and specific description of the business, only a paragraph, but if you can, a line will be better, is what this is saying. The requirement is that anyone who reads it instantly understands your product or service. So this is a big deal, because a lot of times I feel like businesses, they're kind of all over the place and they don't have a simplified way to explain what it is that they do. So this is saying you want a short description of your business or even a line of your description that automatically tells somebody, oh, that's what she does.
Right.
Oh, that's what you do, know. And then it says you want a simple budget. This is how much money you have and what other resources you have, such as time, knowledge, experience, contacts, potential partners, potential clients, and more. And if you don't really have any money, there's only one way to start. You want to ask for funds or work to get them. You can ask friends and family, take into account that clear accounts, long friendships. I assure you that you do not want to ruin your interpersonal relationships for money issues. So you want to make sure the people that you're asking that you can deliver. Like I said, if you're asking someone to invest in you or you're taking out a loan and then something happens, that's kind of sketchy and that's kind of scary, especially in a friendship or a family, because they might be saying, they might say, hey, Bobby, I believe in you. I'm going to loan you $100,000, but I'm going to need that back in a year. And if you haven't made $100,000 in a year to give back to them, now you have this situation of, oh my God, right. Now I'm trying to figure out how to pay my family along with how to keep my business afloat. So that could be very difficult. And then it says crowdfunding, government support. We'll get into that later. It says private financing. You can go to banks, finance companies, or lenders. Just be careful what you sign. Make sure you look at the small print, like I said before, and then the angel investments again. And so if you don't have a way to access any of the above options, you always have yourself. The source of financing that is never lacking is your own job. And I thought that this was really cool. Not that I never thought of it before, but I thought this was really cool what it said. It said, in other words, don't wait sitting with your hand outstretched to see who will take pity on you. Find a preferred job in the field where you want to start your business. In this way, you will gain two things: invaluable experience that you can apply in your future business and money to finance it. And that's cool because that makes me think of Williams Chicken.
Right.
Because I know for sure that, I don't know for sure, but I believe, if I remember correctly, that Williams probably worked for churches before they started their own company.
How often?
Because they're very similar. They're very similar because, coming from the West Coast, here in California,
right.
We don't have Williams Chicken or never heard of it before. And then when I moved to Dallas, I'm like, oh my God, they have a Williams Chicken, which it reminds me of churches, because that's what we have out here, churches. And so I'm sure that he probably started out of churches,
Yep.
built up his knowledge, figured
And it
out
would
how
be
to
very
run
smart
that.
if he did.
Yeah.
That'd be the smartest thing ever.
I
hope he did.
Yeah, figured out how to run that company and all that or whatever, and then branched out on his own, and now he's making the money and he's not paying churches. So what I want to ask Bobby is, what do you think about the ideas that I talked about, and how do you feel? What do you feel has been the hardest part for you in starting your business, and did you ever think that you would own your own business as a child?
Well, I appreciate all his knowledge. I'm thinking, forgive me if I overread or didn't hear anything, but I didn't hear anything about seeding in any of this. Okay. That seems a little bit off to me. That seems like that would be the first thing in business, is knowing how to properly plant seeds. Because then it wouldn't matter about it's not necessarily about the money or what it would take, so what you would think it would take to start a business. It's about how much you believe in your business and how much you're willing to give of your business to see fruit produced.
Okay.
That's what I think first.
So explain that, though.
I think
What
that
is seeding
being able
for the slow people?
being able to give. If you have, like whenever we first started with when we first shifted Chris Orlay from bow ties to bracelets, it was great. People were buying them.
Right.
We're in boutiques and
Yeah.
it was all good. And there was a season in there where I felt a big shift and a drop, and at that point is when we started giving.
Okay.
And now how I've shifted that bracelet idea, I believe it can go on like 20 more years, because now it's more so about the club. You get a box. You don't just get a regular bracelet you get from somewhere else. So as a kid, I thought, I always knew I would have something of my own,
Okay.
to pass on.
So you never saw yourself having a career working for someone else or some other company?
I've tried it.
Okay.
I never saw it.
Okay.
Because I never understood that, even as a youngster. When I used to piss my daddy off.
Right.
Growing up. First, because I was always in art, so I would take all his stuff that he'd bring from his construction sites and build like these trashy looking like storages and little restaurants and stuff in the backyard, roller coasters and stuff of this nature. All crap. But my imagination was so huge. I'm like, I'm gonna have all this stuff, and I was building it in the backyard. And hurt my brothers and sisters by putting them on the roller coasters and stuff of that nature. But I had a vision that I was going to have all these things, so I never understood the sit down and wear a chain mentality.
Okay.
Even with him trying to make me fit into that mold, I never,
That's interesting, Bob. That's funny. You said you was doing roller coasters and stuff like that when you were...
And I would hope a lot of us boys did stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Maybe,
it was
maybe
safe space to do that. Be able to go outside and create. We spent 15, 20 hours outside, it seemed like.
Well, yeah, that's when it was safe to be outside. Not safe to be outside, but it was fun to be outside. Now it's kind of like people are trying to figure out what is outside for them. And so they're so busy inside on their phones and Instagram and Snapchat and all these other kind of things, and they're missing the joy of becoming, you know what I'm saying, or the joy of being a kid. And so for me, I think that I don't know if when I was younger, I had so many aspirations and dreams of doing so many different things. But for when I was younger, I knew that I wrote. So I've always been a writer. Like, I mean, as far as back as I can remember, I've always been a writer. But I think we were talking about the other day that I wanted to be a psychologist at one point. I wanted to be a lawyer at one point, and so many things that I had interest in. So I actually grew up thinking about a career. I never thought about owning my own business. I never did. And even being with my father as a pastor, I didn't even look at that as his own business, because I felt like he worked for the church, and they paid him and sometimes didn't pay him. We sometimes didn't eat and all the other kind of stuff or whatever. But I never saw myself as a business owner until recently, probably not recently, but within the last maybe 20 years or so, when I started my production company. That's when I really kind of saw, well, hey, I I can do this and have my own company and make my own money and not have to worry about clocking in,
Right.
punching a clock. And so at that point, that's when I kind of realized, I guess, that, I could have the ideal dream of owning my own business and making my own way. But with all the stuff that was going on, I agree with you as far as the planting seeds and making sure that you give back, because when you give back, I think that God, he sees that. Absolutely. He recognizes that, and he honors that as far as what you get in return. So that would be a big one. But I think the one that stood out to me the most probably would have been just kind of simplifying your ideas, because a lot of times I feel like a lot of us have so many grand ideas.
Right.
We have so many things we want to do, and then we kind of try and put everything into this one box. Like I've seen so many businesses and a lot of women who are just starting out, entrepreneurs, that we're putting like almost every single thing that we do. And I had a friend that commented one time, because she moved from Dallas and she moved to LA. And so I remember her telling me that she was in the room full of celebrities or people, who kind of had been in the business for a while. And they asked her what she did. And so she named off all these things that she did.
Yeah.
And then the guy was like, hey, you need to narrow that down.
Right. I said, what do you do?
Yeah, you need to really focus on what you do. And
Right.
that's the same thing I think that I remember Tyler Perry said something about that a long time ago. Focus and zero in on something that you do or that you do well, and kind of put all your eggs in that basket.
Right.
And then branch out and do other things as you get going. And so what stuck out to me is just simplifying, making your business simple, and making sure that whatever your tagline is or whatever your business plan says or whatever, that somebody can come right in and say, oh, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for somebody to give to you, especially with everybody having ADD and wanting to go to the next big thing or whatever. It's easy for them to give to you if they know exactly what you do, and they know exactly how it will benefit.
Right.
How it will benefit them,
Yeah.
and of course how it will benefit you. So I think that was really cool, you guys. But we are about to take a break. If you guys just tuned in, you're listening to Intimate Conversations on Hot 702.5 with Talitha and Bobby, and we are talking about starting your business with no money.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we are going to talk about these stimulus checks y'all been getting. And we will be right back.
Yeah.
Look, though I'm lost in this world, caution. I pray that these niggas cross me and force me to come across them and sell a body for auction. Do or die, simply suicide, how I truly ride. All shit with a boss chick in the newest Dodge. Two-seater compact with the new features, which brings up a new creature and force me to go ether. Plus, I'm from Texas, I grew up jamming a Tila and swishers thick as a finger and deuces in a Tahitian. But off that subject, I'm busting, fuck it, what they about? How I see it, these niggas ready to bring them out. And since my city is dirty, I gotta clean them out. Backhand strong, I chose to take the Serena ride. Bring the racket out, my mental swift as Pacquiao. I'm like a rattlesnake on ground, they can never back me down. A boss and niggas think that I do them wrong. I'm like Ross, I made back on any song. So in defense, if it seems that I do my niggas wrong, just know we starving and trying to bring us some dinner home. I'm like Julius Caesar, but I put Brutus on. I put that knife in his hand, I put my life in his hand. I put some greens in them bands, I wouldn't turn on my man, I wouldn't change on them down. So I'm good and wrong. Fact is, I'm on another track, kid. AI with these balls, who talking practice? Plus I'm good with this metal, I'm like a blacksmith. Huey Newton, my nigga, raising a black fist. Half of these people that's ballin' don't know what stats is. I'm past quota, my nigga, the race is over, my nigga. I'm a soldier, my nigga, you got it fucked up. I'm getting colder, my nigga, stacking this.
In these uncertain times, everyone needs a hand up. Becoming a sponsor or making a donation to Food for the Soul Media Group is a great opportunity to help. Intimate Conversations with Talitha and Bobby airs every Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Hot 702.5, streaming radio, and live on our FB page. Intimate Conversations discusses all of those topics we don't like to talk about. Become a sponsor or donate today at foodforthesoulmediagroup.press. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Intimate Conversation with Talitha and Bobby, presented by Food for the Soul, here on Hot 702.5 FM, and we are discussing starting your business with no money. But before we continue, I got some actual factuals from Big Bobby B. Bobby, did you do your actual factuals today?
No, ma'am. You know I didn't, and I thought we didn't discuss that in the car. Why would you even play me like that in here?
We did discuss that in the car,
you
but
glazed right over that.
No, I remember.
I did not do one today, guys. Forgive me. I'll have you next week.
Okay, so no actual factuals. So I thought that you were kidding when you said that you didn't do your actual factuals. So no actual factuals today. But so we're going to go ahead and continue our discussion on starting your business with no money.
Yes.
And right now, I think we want to talk about these stimulus checks, you guys. So I found a cool article about the stimulus checks that you guys have been getting. And it was just pretty much just kind of talking about some of the things that you could do with your stimulus check. And this is to some of you all who have not gotten your stimulus check already, and or who had just got it and are maybe trying to think of some things that you want to do with it. And so first, it says that you want to prioritize paying everyday bills. And I know this might seem like it's common sense to some people, but for some people it's not. And so, a lot of times when you're not used to having this type of money, or just when it's extra money, you're thinking about all the ways you can spend it, right, versus thinking about things that are practical. And so this says you want to prioritize your paying everyday bills. So first and foremost, if you are already having trouble paying your everyday bills, by all means, take care of that first, you guys. So paying utilities, buying food, different things like that. So I would hate to have somebody, you like, okay, well, I've been struggling to pay my rent all year, or I've been struggling, to get groceries for my babies, or myself, or my family all year. I get this $1,400 stimulus check, or this $600 or $1,200 stimulus check, and then I go out and I spend it on trivial things, right, and now I'm still in the same position that I was before I got this check, which is silly. That doesn't make any sense. So it's saying make sure that you pay some of your utilities down, get you some food or whatever, get you some health insurance or something like that or whatever, and make that money count for you in the long run. It also says you want to pay down your credit card debts or some loans. So if you guys have credit cards or personal loans or something like that or whatever, consider paying something on them a little bit, or each of them or whatever, so you can kind of pay your bill down a little bit. And that way you're not having to worry about that for the next month or 2 months or whatever. It says repair or replace everyday items. Perhaps things that you use every single day are in need of repair or replacement. A car, a computer, an appliance or something like that. Those are just a few examples. So if those things are breaking down and you know that you're going to need that, if my car is breaking down, got my stimulus check, but my car gets me to work so that I can make money to pay for the things that I need, then I'm going to be pretty mad about it, but I might have to spend my stimulus check on getting my car fixed.
Right.
On getting my car fixed and, trying to figure that out. We're kind of going through that right now. It's rough. And so then also you want to, it says that you want to possibly build an emergency stash.
Yep.
So possibly take some money and put it back. So even if it's $100 or $25 or $50, whatever it is, start your emergency fund. You don't have to put all of it in there, but start your emergency fund, put a little bit in there. So now you have something in there, and that kind of it encourages you to say, okay, I got 25 in my little savings account. It's not a lot, but okay, next month when I get paid, I'm gonna put another 25 in there. I'm gonna put another 25 in there. At least gives you, it gives you something to look forward to, and it gives you, it starts you off. And then also it says you want to consider possibly funding your own retirement plan. So if you're a little bit older and you know that you're going to not be working soon, or you know that you're going to be possibly facing this ageism, which is going on, with me, I'm older. And so now I'm starting to have to look at things in a different light because I'm not as young as I used to be, which means that some of my motor skills and different things like that are working differently now. Right. So I'm having to think about my job and different things like that I have to do differently to make sure that I'm able to continue on in the next 10 years, in the next, 15 years, in the next 20 years. Some people have been lucky, though. Some people, like Cicely Tyson, rest her soul, she was working well, into her 90s, and she was remembering lines and on sets and different things like that, which is, very hard to do if you're not continuously healthy. So she was healthy all those years. Her, Maya Angelou, people like Tina Turner, who's now, is a little sickly, Patti LaBelle, people like that who are in their 70s, going on their 80s and still moving around and singing and shaking the tail feather and everything, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like when they were younger. But it says to consider funding your retirement plan so you have kind of something to fall back on. So just put something away, like I said, $100. Start your retirement plan, and so you got the $100 in there, and now you just kind of want to watch it grow. It also says another thing to consider is saving money to put it in an IRA so that it can collect interest and it'll kind of just sit there and it'll make money. Or consider investing in stocks, which is the same thing. You'll invest in a stock, and then hopefully you'll make money off of that investment, and that'll keep you going. And then within the next 10 years, even though a lot of us only think about the right now, within 10 years, you have some money set aside. Right. Even if it's your 401k and investing in that or whatever. It's just small stuff that you can do to make sure that your money works for you and this stimulus check. So what do you, I know that, we haven't got a stimulus check yet. Don't know if we're going to get one, but what would you do if you got your stimulus check? Are there some things that that as a business owner or right now where you are, that you're like, okay, if I get it, I'm not going to go out and buy, a ATV or a.
Well, how many of these things have gone out? 3?
There's been, there's been 3, and I think they're working on a 4th one.
What's been the numbers?
So the first one was 600, the second one was 1,200, and then this last one was 1,400. And so this next one is supposed to be, I've just been reading that it's possible that it's supposed to be maybe 2,000. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I just saw
so they were throwing these bags out.
And so it went from 600 when Trump was in office to now 2,000.
Well, if I got that 6, I would for sure take and blow that on material.
Okay.
Quick.
Okay.
That 12, I would take it. I would use a part of it to stimulate the society. Mm-hmm. Then I'll use 4 parts of it to stimulate our growth. So I would invest in 4 different areas.
Okay, 1,200.
The rest of that would be getting blown on more material.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
the 14? I would take 4 parts of that and invest it in 4 other areas, whether it be the same 4 or 4 different ones. Mm-hmm. And the rest would get blown on material because we have everything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really, I'm going to stimulate somebody. I'm going to use this to get material, and I'm going to grow what I'm doing already with it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I can understand that. I think that I would probably do the same thing. I truly believe in splitting stuff. And so for me, I would have probably paid one bill that I know that we needed to pay or something like that or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the other half, I would have used it on business, or I would have given some away, not, because I know that Bobby and I are big tithers, we're big givers. Right. And so even if we're not tithing at the moment to a specific church, usually Bobby would pick a pastor or something to give, some of his funds to. Right. And then we just kind of give, we're big believers in the sowing the seed, like Bobby said. So I would probably give some of it to some type of project or just make up a project, because I love doing projects, y'all. Right. So I would make up some type of project to put the money into, or do some type of event or something like that or whatever. And then the rest I would spend on business, like you said, to try and sow into our company so that we can continue to get money back.
Absolutely.
Get reciprocal, reciprocal. Yeah. So the last tips that I have on business are some companies the last thing that I have is some tips on business, and then some companies you may know that started with little to no money.
I
They
love
just
this part.
started
It's
with
great.
it was just a dream, man. It was just a dream. And so we're going to talk about that. And then Bobby is actually going to tell you guys some of the businesses we found that you can start with little to no money. So you guys are going to be excited. That's going to be at the end. So here are the tips. It says start small by thinking big. Adapt your business model to avoid as much fixed cost as possible. Avoid unnecessary rents, salaries, and services. That's big, big, big. If you don't have to rent a space, don't rent a space. Don't run out and think that you have to go and get this elaborate, enormous building that's going to be soaking up all of your electric, water, whatever it takes to run that building. You have to get it up to code. Don't do that. If you can get away from that for the first year or two, start small. Salaries. Sometimes in the first year or two, you're not going to be able to pay yourselves. So like we're sitting here like, nah, we ain't been able to pay us nothing. Sometimes you might be able to treat yourself. Right. But for the most part, every time we've made money, we have put it back into our business. And we really have, we're not strangers to hard work. We kind of treat ourselves sometimes as much as we can. But for the most part, we're trying to make this thing crack so we can, make it and have it have some longevity in our business.
Absolutely.
And then also it says services. Try to eliminate services if you can. Man, get somebody who likes what you're doing and possibly do something for them as they do something for you. Like that's the American way right now. It says make the internet your store, your school, your marketing center, your means of contact, everything. Use the internet for what it's supposed to be used for, and that's business. And helping to grow your business. And then I think research. People are always putting stuff on the internet, whether some of it's true, some of it might not be as true, but for the most part, like I said, when I do research, if I'm Googling 2 or 3 things and they kind of say the same thing and they're aligned, then I'm pretty much like, okay, that's what it is. So I'm thinking that that's kind of pretty much the truth. And then it says, make a list of things that will be essential for your business and another of the things that you could get for free. Do them on your own or exchange them with others, like I just said, who have what you want and who want what you have. And that's bartering. The
Old
American
school barter
way.
system.
Yeah, the American way. And then it says, send a promotion out on social media to each and every one of your contacts to offer your product or service. Make your first sale, and don't forget to ask for feedback on the service and quality of what you offer. In this way, you can start making the corresponding adjustments, you guys. That is very, very important. Bobby and I put something on our website that has, I think it's a Facebook thing that I was able to put on the website because I did our website that shows your testimony on what you thought about the product. And that is very important to us, you guys. Not that we just give you a product and we think it's dope, you know what I'm saying? But you think it's dope. And then you tell us that you think it's dope. Right. If there's something that we need to change or something that you see that can be done a different way or whatever, let us know so that we can adjust. And we're not out here thinking we just made it over. You know what I'm saying? And we killing the game and people buying stuff.
Support.
People buying stuff and braces is breaking or something like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
We just trying to pacify and be nice and churchy. Tell us what's happening so we can know and grow and get better.
Right, and so we can get better. And you pay for it. So it doesn't bother us when you call us and say, hey, I paid for this and this is, this is not right or whatever's going on. Let us know so that we can make that right.
Absolutely.
And so these are some of the businesses that went from small to big time. So I'll read them as quickly as I can because we're about at 12:40, or we're out at 1:40, I'm sorry. So the first company is Hewlett Packard. It says HP was the original tech startup formed in a garage. Bill Hewlett and David Packard started the company with $538 in 1939 as an electronics maker, getting a boost from its first successful product, an audio oscillator. Now 72 years old, HP has grown into one of the world's largest information technology companies. It now has more than 300,000 employees and posted revenues of $126 billion. And you guys, I found this. This was in 2010. So imagine how much it's doing now.
Yeah.
The second company is Starbucks. 2 teachers and a writer got together to start up a Seattle coffee bean seller with their own money in 1971. One of their personal connections was Alfred Peet, the founder of Pete's Coffee and Tea, whom they bought all their coffee from in their first year. And then after the company went public in 1992, the idea grew into the largest chain of coffee houses in the world. Its 17,000 stores today are spread across 55 countries and can be found on what often seems like every corner. Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren was working as a sales assistant at Brooks Brothers when he got the idea for his clothing company. He started to wonder if men were interested in branching out into more colorful, bolder ties. So in 1967, Lauren launched his business selling ties, and he grossed $500,000 in sales the first year. And the next year he launched Polo and built his company into a successful global brand. And then also Damon John, and you guys might know him. He started his clothing line using sewing machines at his mother's house in Queens, New York. FUBU grew into a global brand, and John went on to invest in dozens of other companies. He's also an author of 4 books and owns a co-working space in Manhattan. And you guys recently seen him on Shark Tank. So that's where he is. And then Sam Walton. Sam Walton opened his first store with almost nothing to his name. He purchased a Ben Franklin franchise in Newport, Arkansas, using a $25,000 loan that he got from his father-in-law. Walton ran the business with his younger brother and successfully grew the franchise to own 15 different stores. But the company that managed the franchise chain was unwilling to expand into rural areas, which is what he wanted to do. So that prompted Walton to start his own business. Walton opened his first Walmart store and has quickly become a success, you guys. Today, Walmart is the largest retailer in the country. Now, I would say almost the world, but in the country, at least. So I don't know.
That Spanx in that
oh my goodness. So
in that 7
okay.
I mean in that
and so the last one is
NPR voice.
Sarah Barkley. So when Sarah Barkley founded Spanx, she was selling fax machines door to door. She used $5,000 of her savings to start the company and bootstrapped her way to success. To this day, she's never taken on any funding and owns 100% of the company. She cautions new entrepreneurs not to look to friends and family to validate their business idea, saying this can stop a lot of multi-million-dollar ideas in their tracks in the beginning. So basically what Sarah was saying is that in her starting her company, she cautions a lot of entrepreneurs not to look to family or their friends to say, hey, that's a great idea, that's a wonderful idea, because not typically, or not always, but I would say maybe, I don't know what the percentage would be, that your family and friends just don't possibly believe in your business like you believe in it. Unless they're starting the business with you. They don't believe in the business like you believe in it, so sometimes you can incur a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
And so she's saying, don't look to them to support you, because that could really kill your dreams, and that probably killed a lot of multi-million-dollar ideas because people were looking to be validated by their family, and they weren't.
Right, absolutely.
And so, but guys, man, this is inspirational, man.
That's deep.
It's
I love
inspirational.
That. Good
Walmart started with a $25,000 loan from his father-in-law, and now he is a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, one of the horsemen. Man, he's getting it, man. For real.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. And so Bobby's going to talk about some of the companies or businesses you can start with little or no money at all. I'm going to let him talk.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Car wrapping. Promoting businesses. So you can do like a car wrap. Now, see, what I don't know is, would you, to get it for under $500, would you just have the ideas, go to a car wrap company, design stuff, and have them wrap cars, and you'd be like the consultant?
No, this was actually saying to actually wrap the car. So if you,
the wrap costs a little bit more than $500.
Well, I don't know how much it costs, but I'm saying that if you wrap cars and you just drive your car around for a company, then you're promoting their business, and then they're paying you to promote their business by driving the wrapped car.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? If it's yours, or if you volunteer to get your car wrapped.
Can dig. Flip real estate contracts. Home organizing.
Yeah.
Photography. This is great. This is great because you spend more time studying in this one, and you can get a lot of work done. A lot of weddings, a lot of
Right.
a lot of everything.
Just by investing in a cool camera and equipment.
Yeah.
And then that makes us money over and over again.
Yeah, the online boutique is really dope.
Yeah.
It opens up a lot of doors for other artists and a lot of other creatives when you open up your online boutique and then feature their stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then it makes you look dope too because you got the coolest kid on the block in your store. Landscaping businesses. That's good, and it's real good out here in Vegas to where there's like 17 blades of grass, and they charge you $620 to cut those. So you can definitely make all your $500 startup right back on the first line.
Yeah.
Tutoring businesses, for sure, especially also out here in Vegas where it's number 50 in the United States for education. Tutoring would definitely blast out here. All you gotta do is bring your semi-smart behind out here in Vegas and tell a couple of these other kids how to do some stuff, and you can win. Personal training, obviously, right here in Vegas, where about 72% of everybody walking around here is pretty chiseled. So that's an easy job for $12 an hour for you to tell some other guy like myself how to get chiseled. Carpet cleaning, yes, that's a dying breed, but it's definitely a job. There's about 22 homes here in Vegas with carpet, so if you want to clean carpet, you can definitely do that. Everybody else has tile and hardwood floors.
No, not everybody. There's still a lot of older residents or mature people that keep carpet somewhere in their home. It might not be all throughout, but somebody had. Like we have some carpet,
like one room.
Yeah.
So that's blessed because our last place had no carpet nowhere.
We have 3 rooms.
With carpet?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, you sure right.
We have 3 rooms with carpet, and then we have about 5 rooms with no carpet. So
back to jobs for disgruntled divorcees. Event plannings. That's a job you can also do for a little nothing. Moving companies. You got a buddy with a truck. You got a buddy with a strong back.
Yeah.
You don't need much money to say, hey, man, I'll move your couch, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Motivational speaker, life coaches. This is all over the place. Everybody's on Facebook being a motivational speaker, trying to get likes and what have you. You could take that and go to a center somewhere, like a open square somewhere, and use your skills and public speaking and do that. That's another ability. Tour guide. Even with no vehicle, you can be a tour guide. You can get on a bus in cities like Vegas and tell everybody where everything is. I'm so serious. There's money in it.
Yeah.
Catering services, if you can or cannot cook. We've been to events where they cannot cook, and they're still making $20 a head for these terrible-ass plates.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can definitely do all of these beautiful things here with a little ingenuity and an idea.
Absolutely, you guys. And we got this. I can't remember the name of the book, and so I'll have to get it and maybe post it later on. But she had so many ideas, about 100 ideas of ways to start a small little business for yourself and make you some money, or at least even if you don't want to start the business, but maybe just kind of a side hustle for you to make some extra cash along with whatever.
While y'all messing around, little bike dude in traffic, little cart with like snacks. Just riding through traffic on a bike.
Oh, especially out here. Oh, goodness.
What?
Out here?
LA? All that.
Heck yeah.
Serious?
Oh, that would go.
Killing it.
Absolutely, that would go. Do we have any comments about anything on there? Because you put them up, but
I mean, nothing that was, hey, everybody. You already said hey to everybody here. So not really.
It's okay.
McLeod said that tithing is key. He texted me that, so I put it on there.
Okay, so tithing
that's definitely
is key.
True.
Yeah, tithing is key. We believe in it. We believe that it comes back to
philanthropy or whatever you call it.
We believe that it comes back to you, and we don't believe necessarily that it's just your money. Sometimes it can be your time. Sometimes it can be your ideas. It can be your help. So it's not just about money, especially if you don't have money. You don't have to feel bad that I'm not giving to anybody else, so why am I not getting? But if you are if you are helping, if you are out there just assisting people that need something, then I believe that it will come back to you. I believe that there's honor in that.
Yeah, and every time you do anything, you're giving, regardless if you see it or not.
Yeah.
Even if you're giving nothing, you're giving nothing.
Yeah.
So
something.
If you're going to use something in that space where you should be doing something, do something productive.
Okay.
So.
Well, you guys, that is our show. Like I said, we wanted to keep it light this month. So this month, we're going to be talking all about business. Mind your business and make it happen for you guys. We believe now that, like we did on our last show and then a couple of shows before, that we are in some type of turn.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it is the greatest of turn, but it's a turn nonetheless. So now we are more about reading, researching, finding out what really it is. And like I said before, and I will say again, continue to research. Don't just take everybody's word at face value. Please, my people, especially my people, don't take everybody's word as face value. And I'm talking about everybody. 2020 should have taught y'all, don't believe everything and don't believe anybody really until you do your research, man. If you don't do your research, then more power to you, because you get whatever it is that's coming to you because you just believed something somebody said and you went with it. So like for us, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I look up. Like I said, I research 2 or 3 things before I actually put something down to say this is what it is. And then some of this stuff is our opinions, of course, and we'll tell you guys it's our opinions. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to help. We're just trying to promote conversation, trying to promote dialogue, and help you guys decide what's the best thing to do for you. So Bobby, do you have any final thoughts before we end our show?
Yeah, man. Make sure you sow. I was going to say something about you said something. You mentioned something earlier about minding your business, and you said something right after it. And I was trying to catch that and keep that note, but then I got a message.
Okay.
But make sure you give. Stay focused and give, and make sure when you're trying to look for a business or something you're doing, because a lot of people are in this mode now. Dig and find something that you already do.
Yeah.
And maximize that. Look for an issue that you can fix, that you already see.
Right.
And just step in that, man, because somebody really could use that.
Yeah.
And it's simple, man. Simple as a toothpick. As simple as a mistake as a Frisbee or a chocolate chip cookie. All these things are made by mistake. Those things really do help somebody. How Lysol was started out to be a douche and it was too strong, so now we're going to use it to clean everything else. All these little things that you think in your mind might not benefit or might not be a good business. Yeah. Look into that. So think deeper.
Yeah, and also whatever you do, I would say make it fit you passion-wise too. Don't just go out and start a business that you don't even really care about, because I don't feel like you're going to put your heart into it if you're just specifically doing it for money. So my final thoughts are, when you put your mind to it, you can do anything. In the words of the Everett College recruiter, you're sitting on your couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by. You keep procrastinating, saying what you're going to do. Well, get up and do something. Tomorrow is not promised, and I suggest you start living your own life and stop living others' lives. It's easy to take a handout, but never forget the costs that go along with it. Be your own boss, make your own way. Will it be hard? Heck yeah, but the rewards are priceless. Be sure to tune in tomorrow on FB Live for our new show, Rude Awakening, with me and my girl Terry at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time and 12 p.m. But tomorrow, actually, we're doing our show tonight. At 6 o'clock p.m. So we're doing a special broadcast tonight because of Resurrection Weekend. Also, tune in next week for our Movie Monday of the Week at 6 o'clock p.m. live on our FB page. Our show has been sponsored in part by Mook the Barber, Chris Products, Isla Cole, and Orlay Worldwide. It's your girl Talitha Kume.
And your boy Big Bobby B.
Giving you something to talk about. And we are out. Yep.
All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. No uglies. All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. Yeah. All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. No uglies. All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. Yeah. All the people around me pretty. All the people around me pretty. No uglies. All the people around me pretty. Yeah. All the people around me pretty. I win. I look around all the city. All the people around you ugly, damn a shame, really a pity. You can get a dog, play with your ass, tied a bone around your neck. You can have it all, but you chase cash, yeah, rope around your neck. Slave, the pretty committee.